Hello everyone and welcome back to ZZ Fit Radio. I'm so happy to have you here. It's your host Zara, your go-to coach for all things health, fitness, personal development, all the things. And today we're going beyond just aesthetics and how you look and going into something a little bit deeper, which is why weight training is the ultimate self-love practice. A little bit deep, I know, but I really think this episode is important because I think as females, although we are slowly breaking the stigma of weight training and being afraid of weight training, there are still some beliefs that weight training is going to make us look bulky or is a negative thing. For many women, fitness can feel like a punishment, right? We go to the gym to change ourselves, or it's from a place of self-hate, or we do it as a way to fix ourselves. But weight training really helps flip that script, at least it did for me. Why I love weight training is it's not about like tearing yourself down, but actually building yourself up, both physically, mentally, and emotionally. So if you're someone who is new to weightlifting or the weights room, or you're feeling a bit intimidated, or just simply unsure how to get started with weight training or how to fit it into your journey, this episode is going to leave you inspired and motivated and give you all the tools that you need to go into the weights room confidently and start your weightlifting journey. So let's define what self-love really means. And I think it means something different to everyone. It's sort of how you interpret it. But to me, self-love isn't just about journaling, spa days, self-care. I think it's about showing up for yourself, honoring your goals, practicing that discipline, and doing the things that sometimes you may not want to do in the moment, but you have to do for your goals or for your health overall, or things that make us feel good in the long run. And weight training, I believe, is one of the best ways that you can practice that self-love, and I want to explain why. Firstly, you build strength both inside and out. Every time you go into the gym, you are able to lift a little bit heavier, or the more you sort of show up on moments you may not want to, that is a way that you're going to build self-trust and self-confidence, because we all have days that we don't want to go to the gym, but when you show up, you prove to yourself that you can do it. And you build that self-trust of knowing that when you say you're going to do something, you're going to freaking do it. Another thing within the gym is that you can see the progression really quickly, and that is so empowering. When you can go into the gym, lift 10 kilos one week and then go back in the next week and lift 12 kilos. It's one of the fastest ways you're going to be able to see progress, and it will really prove and show to yourself that you are a lot more stronger than you think. And those lessons and seeing that growth is going to translate to other areas of your life, and you're going to have a lot more confidence, and you're going to know that actually you're a lot more capable than what you think you are. And that's why I think gym is such a great lesson for that. Number two of why I believe strength training is one of the best self-love practices is you get to appreciate what your body can do over what it looks like. Now, of course, when we go into the gym, I know for myself, I do bodybuilding. I go into the gym for aesthetic purposes, of course. However, I also go because I want to get stronger, and I see those strength numbers going up, and it's amazing what my body can do now because of strength training. You're able to really shift your focus to what your body can do as opposed to what it looks like. And it's amazing because that's been able to translate to other areas of my life. Like when my partner and I moved into our first apartment together, we didn't need removalists because we could move everything ourselves, because the gym was able to give me the ability to have that strength. And that's helped, me help other people with different things, or help my family because I have the strength there and my body is really capable and functional as well. And number three, it teaches you resilience. The gym, it challenges you, whether the challenge is just in showing up or whether the challenge is within the actual reps you do yourself. But it's a challenge in the best way possible, because again, you're able to push through. You're able to even push through weeks where you might have setbacks, but learning to not give up and still show up and push through those setbacks, or days you feel weaker, or whatever the case may be. But this really allows you to build the resilience that's going to help you, again, in other areas of your life. All of this translates into so many other areas, whether it's your relationships, your professional life, schooling, whatever other scenarios there are. But weight training is one of the best and fastest ways to build those skills and to build more self-love. I think it's important we go through a bit of myth busting about weight training for women, because like I said, although I do believe the stigma is slowly being broken around weight training for women, I still hear a lot of women being afraid of weight training. So let's first address this common concern of, won't lifting weights make me bulky? The short answer is no, it really won't. Unless, as I said to everyone, unless you are like eating so much food, have weight trained intensely for like 15 years and are on gear, then you won't get bulky. Because at the end of the day, women don't generally have the testosterone levels needed to become that bulky look in the same way that men might. What weight training will do is it will help you build lean muscle. It will help burn more body fat. You'll have a faster metabolism, and it's going to create that strong, sculpted and toned look that a lot of you are aiming for. A lot of you come to me and you're like, I want to look toned. Toning essentially is building muscle. You're not going to get toned by continuing to drop and drop and drop body fat, because then you're just going to be a stick. That toned look you want comes from building muscle, which you do in the gym lifting weights. Some other myths that I find come up a lot with females in their fitness journey or wanting to lose weight is cardio is better for fat loss. I get it a lot where they're like, oh, should I be implementing more cardio? I think I need to be adding more cardio for my goals. And that is actually not very true. Yes, cardio can be a good tool to help create a larger caloric expenditure, but strength training is actually going to be a way more effective way to boost your metabolism and burn fat in the long run, not cardio. And then another myth I hear is that weights are only for young people. Again, incorrect. Strength training is so essential no matter what age you are. God bless her, my grandma, she is, I think she's 80. I know, it's so bad. I should know how old she is. But like, I think she's always been very like pretty healthy, you know, that type of thing. But she started going to workout classes, and they're not your typical like gym workout classes. They're like workout classes that are meant for elderly people. So freaking cute. And they do weight training. So she'll tell me about how they do, and it's nothing intense. You know, weight training isn't all about getting under 100-kilo barbell and doing crazy squats or anything, but they do body weight squats or squats with a dumbbell. They'll do dumbbell bicep curls, and she's telling me about all these things she's doing, and it's all centered around weight-based training. So weight-based training isn't just for younger people in their 20s, 30s, 40s. It's for everyone, and it's so important that we do it. And if you're not doing it, you get started, because it's going to help you, especially when you are elderly. And I know not a lot of us are thinking of that right now, especially if we're, you know, on the younger side. But what happens a lot when you get elderly, you find a lot of people get things like osteoarthritis. There's a lot of falls, knee reconstructions, hip replacements, like things like that you hear happen so often with elderly. And a lot of that, although not all of it can be prevented from weight training alone, a lot of it can be prevented from regular weight training, and weight training that you start right now. So by embracing weight training altogether, you're not just only building a better physique and a better body, like who doesn't want that? That's like what I do for my living. But you're going to be shattering outdated stereotypes and showing up for yourself in probably one of the most powerful ways that you can. One of my favorite things about weight training that I really discovered in my own journey is how it can impact your mindset. Weight training has built my confidence like no other. There's something about lifting weights, whether, you know, it's machine work, getting under a heavy barbell, whether it's doing CrossFit or more bodybuilding style training, that just makes you feel really empowered and unstoppable. Like, you mean I can go into the gym and throw some weights around? Like, it makes you feel so empowered knowing that my body is able to do that, and seeing over time how it's shaped my body. It's insane. So weight training can definitely build your confidence. And like I briefly touched on earlier, it's the fact of I show up not every day, but like I show up consistently week after week after week, in moments where I don't want to, in moments where I feel mentally low, in moments where I feel great, or moments that, you know, but that consistent action over and over and over, workouts where I'm like, is this even working? Am I even seeing results? Is it even worth it? But then over time, seeing that come into what my body looks like today just gives me so much confidence in myself. Another way weight training has helped me with my mindset is it teaches me practice. Unlike things like quick fix diets, 75 hard, whatever your standard 6-week shred challenge, weight training really teaches you about the long game, because building muscle or shaping your physique, it's not something that happens overnight, especially for females. Again, resorting to that point about it won't make you bulky, because muscle building, it takes a long time. It truly does. Like, I've been weight training for 6 years now, and I'm happy with my body, but there's still so much I want to improve. But it takes time and it takes patience to get there. And it really forces you to learn to trust the process and celebrate progression over perfection, and really trust in delayed gratification. Because unlike, say, maybe a fat loss phase where, you can see the scale go down relatively quickly, when you're building your physique, it's a long game. You go with, like, there's so many times where I'm like, is this even doing anything? I feel like I'm not seeing progress. And then 6 months go by and I'm like, damn, okay, I am seeing progress. So that's what I love about weight training, is it really taught me practice and taught me to rely on delayed gratification, which is such a good mindset to be in for any area of your life. Nothing happens instantly. What you think is an overnight success really took 10 years. So weight training has really taught me that principle of life. Another way that weight training really impacts your mindset is it reduces stress. Now, whenever I have done therapy, because I am someone who does struggle with anxiety, the first question, I've tried different therapists and things, and I swear to God, every single therapist I've tried, the first question they ask is, do you exercise? Because exercising is one of the best ways to reduce stress and reduce anxiety. That's why I do believe it is another form of self-care, because it releases endorphins, it improves your sleep, and it helps you manage stress better. So when my clients are going through maybe a rough time, they're experiencing some challenges within their day-to-day life, I never put the pressure on them to, hey, be perfect at your nutrition and training. But what I really do like to encourage is, hey, I understand that you're going through a really tough time right now, and like, take the time you need, like, feel what you need to feel, but also in the same breath, moving your body, going to the gym, releasing endorphins, fueling yourself correctly, that's going to make you handle the stress so much better than if you're not. If you just sit in that rut and just let things happen to you and you don't gain back that control. Like, we can't control everything in our lives, right? We can't control if we're about to lose our job, or if a family member gets sick, or if we have a fight with our boyfriend, or we can't control a lot of the things that happen, but what we can control is how we move our body and what we eat. So I think, although eating well and going to the gym isn't going to solve the problems, it's going to make you better equipped to handle the stress and handle the problems. It's not going to magically make you feel brand spanking new. Maybe it might. It does for some people, but it is going to make you feel a little bit better. And that's why I really stress that weight training is one of the best things for your mental health, and why it is such a great way to implement self-care into your day-to-day. And it's funny because I actually had a conversation with a client yesterday. I'm not going to name who they are, but they were going through a pretty challenging time over the new year and everything. And they were still showing up a little bit, but they were, it was a struggle. Like, the motivation wasn't there. They were dealing with some external life stresses. And then this week they were like, okay, I'm just going to get back to it. I'm going to just regain that momentum. And I had a call with her yesterday. She's like, it's funny how, like, actually going to the gym really does make you feel better. And I'm like, I told you so. I told you so. Yeah, I just like to use that as an example of, like, it's not going to fix your problems, but it's going to make you better equipped to handle whatever you may be going through. And look, how I view it is, like, if you can't control shit going on in your life, you may as well control what you can. And your health is very much in your hands, and you do have control. And I think a lot of us forget that we have as much control over our health than we realize. So if after listening to all of this, you're like, all right, it's time to get started on my weightlifting journey, I need to get into it, I want to share some practical tips to get started in the weights room. Number one, start small. You don't need any fancy equipment or an intense Instagram workout. Like, you can start with body weight exercises in your home, or you can go to a quiet part of the gym and grab a set of dumbbells and do a few basic movement patterns. The basics work and you can build on the basics, but don't, just start your journey being like, all right, I'm going to follow this 5-day gym program when I've never stepped foot into the gym before. Meet yourself where you're at and then build up from there. Number two is to focus on form. Good form is key to, one, not getting injured, performing the movement safely, and getting the most out of the movement as well. If you're unsure of how to perform different exercises, that's when I'd really recommend working with a coach or going with a friend who might be more experienced in the gym than you are. We always get our clients to send us form videos, especially of their main lifts, so that we can make sure that they're performing them correctly. And we like to start from the ground up. So if you're someone who's a very beginner to the gym, we're not gonna make you do a barbell squat from day one. We're gonna see how a body weight squat looks. We're gonna perfect that body weight squat form. And then we're gonna maybe go to a dumbbell goblet squat. We're gonna see how you perform that, and we're just gonna continue to progress, and we can overlook your form to help correct you, to make sure that you are doing the movement correctly and safely as well. But do make sure that form comes first. Lifting more weight on the bar doesn't do shit if the movement isn't executed correctly. Number three is to make it a habit. Make it a habit to go to the gym. Don't make it this big overwhelming thing. Just make it something that you do as part of your day and add it to your habit tracker. At the end of the day, like, consistency is more important than intensity. Consistency over a long period of time is going to give you better results than going really hard for 3 weeks and then dropping off altogether. So aim for like 2 to 3 strength sessions to start and then build up from there. That's something that we really preach within our metabolic breakthrough method, is, again, meeting you where you're at and then building up from there. Not going balls to the wall straight away, because that's not going to be sustainable. Starting small, building up, and making it a habit within your week. Number four is to track your progress within the gym. I think this is where a lot of people go wrong, is they do not track their progress. There is a difference between exercising and weight training, or like exercising versus training. Exercising is just simply moving your body. Training is actually going in with intention to get stronger and build more muscle and progress within your workouts, right? So tracking your progress is also a really great way to see that you are making progressions within the gym and it doesn't feel like you're just not getting anything out of it. So what we do, we have a ZZ Fit app where your workouts are all laid out, and you can actually, there's video demonstrations if you're unsure how to do something, and then there is sections where you can put the weight you've used and the amount of reps. And then when you go to do that workout again, you can see what weight you did last week or what reps you've done, and you can try and increase your weights or your reps. And that way you're able to celebrate small victories along your weightlifting journey, like even just as small as like going from 5 kilos to 6 kilo dumbbells on a shoulder press or something like that. Because those, when you are able to get that dopamine hit from those small wins week after week, it's going to keep you more consistent within the gym as well. But it's going to make sure that like you can go in, you have targets to aim for, and it kind of gives you a purpose. And number five, be patient with yourself when it comes to lifting. It took me a few years to sort of get the hang of being in the gym and lifting weights. At the end of the day, getting into your health and fitness journey, it shouldn't be something that's a quick fix, something that you do for 12 weeks for a 12-week challenge and then you stop. It is meant to be a journey. Your progress, might be slow at first, it might be fast at first. You're gonna have ebbs and flows within your weightlifting journey as well. I hear it all the time with clients, so they're like, I'm not getting as many PBs as I once was, or gym's feeling a bit boring, or those. I'm like, it's so normal. You're gonna go through ebbs and flows within your journey, but just be patient with yourself and show up no matter what, and know that this is a journey. This is a lifestyle. It's not something that you stop and you start, especially with weight training. You need to be weight training. Like, is this the right phrase? Like, I'll die on this hill. Like, this is something I preach, is that you need to be weight training. You don't have to be a bodybuilder. You don't have to be a CrossFitter, but you need to be doing some form of resistance-based exercise at least 3 times a week, starting now until for the rest of your life, because it's going to help you prevent falls, prevent injuries, prevent any, diseases, and issues with your bones and muscles and all of that as you do age. So at the end of the day, weight training isn't just about looking a certain way or looking good. Obviously, that's definitely a bonus. Who doesn't love to look hot and grow a booty and feel toned? But it also is really beneficial for feeling strong and confident and capable in your everyday life. So whatever your goal is, whether it is weight loss, whether it is muscle gain, whether it is just feeling more confident or being able to help your family move house, like weight training is going to support you with every step of the way with whatever goals you do have. And when you do show up to the gym, you show up for your workouts, even in moments where you don't want to or moments where you do want to, you're also going to show up so much better in your everyday life as well. And that's why I truly believe that weight training is one of the most ultimate acts of self-love. So I hope you leave this episode feeling inspired and excited to get into weight training and viewing it from a new light. And again, not looking at it as punishment or something that is a manly or masculine thing, but actually something that is very feminine and empowering. So if you're ready to really kickstart your weight training journey, but don't really know where to begin, please reach out to me on Instagram at ZaraZolkosFit and tell me what your goals are. I want to hear. Or if you want to hear more about our coaching programs, we always leave the links in the description box. So make sure to check that out because I would love to help create a plan for you that gets you into the weights room and creates that structure and that momentum so that you can feel all the benefits that weight training has to offer. So thank you so much for listening. And remember, weight training isn't just about building a killer physique, which again is the cherry on top, but it is about building a stronger foundation of who you are. So thank you again so much for tuning into the ZZ Fit Radio. Please don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. And if you did find this helpful, it would mean the world to me if you left a review and a rating. And if you have any podcast suggestions, feel free to send me a DM of what you want advice on or what you want to hear. Other than that, I will see you next week for more help and more tips for your fitness journey. So until next time, I'll chat to you then. Bye.